Hi, how was your day today? Did anybody come or call? It was day 2 of Vanstock, and it was very exciting because today I got to see Bob Wells speak. And as we know, he's basically the godfather of the van life movement. It was my first opportunity to see him, and I'm very excited to share with you everything he said. So let's go have a look. People and dogs enjoyed some fun water activities throughout the day. We visited the merch table for one-of-a-kind mementos from the first annual Vanstock. Janie had a tarot card reading, and this was the perfect card for our cozy mystery author. We enjoyed lounging while listening to some awesome music. The music was thumping, and the musicians were really getting into it. And more dancing with a wide variety of dance partners. And the highlight of the day, Bob Wells' speech.
It seems like you all are familiar with Bob Wells, but if you're not, he created Cheap RV Living, and it has provided an immense amount of resources for the nomad community. Bob is very special to me, but I will keep the story short. Bob is a huge reason of why we are able to make Vanstock happen this year. Bob has believed in the Vanstock vision, and without his help, we would not have been able to have all of you beautiful people here this year. So I'm so pleased to announce that Bob is going to be doing a talk for us today, and I'll turn it over to him.
Hi everyone, I'm glad to be here. I'm not enthused with the introduction I got here. They were fantastic. I am going to pale in comparison, so just kind of keep your expectations low. Boy, they were just so good. Kind of the spirit on me, but I really appreciated them. Those of you who do not have a clue who I am, and there are a bunch of you here who do not, I have a YouTube channel. I love living in a van, living as a nomad and traveling, and so I have made it my life's mission to promote it and to make as many people as possible aware of it and to get them out here. And one or two of you have heard me before and are out here to some degree because of my influence. So to each of you, I am so grateful to you that you are here and that you're living your best possible life. So a big hand for you. And then more recently, I bought a larger piece of land, and I have been making videos about it for my YouTube channel, Cheap RV Living. And so they have gotten a huge response, and I know a lot of you are interested in owning land because I've heard from you. And there'll be a day when I don't want to be on the road all year. Even now, I'm glad to have a piece of land to go to. So, enough blithering. Let's blithering while we're teaching. It's fine auto. It should be at least I get dozens of letters telling me. Okay, why? Why would you consider buying a piece of land? First, there are legal issues. If those of you who have become nomads, you know the issues with having an address. And one of the big reasons was to be legal. I now have a legal residence. All those issues are now resolved. A second reason I think it's real important, especially as you get older, this won't be too big a deal for a lot of you, is to have a home base, someplace you can go. If you're just tired of being on the road, if you're tired of being chased around by the police or getting the knock and where am I going to camp tonight, have a home base. You can go in and set on for a month or 2 or 3 and then hit the road again. Just get your bearings on that home base. More issues are a doctor's visit. I've heard from a lot of people that say, Bob, what am I going to do about my doctor? I'm older, I have a doctor, I need to see my doctor every once a year. That's not uncommon. Maybe you need to see your doctor every 6 months, every 3 months. And so if I go to my place, I spend 2-3 months a year at my property in north of Flagstaff, and I have a doctor near there. My doctors are near there. Vet, then you've got a vet you know. I've been going to the same vet for a long, long time, and it's because I have a home base. And then finally, some of us, when we go on the road, we get a storage unit. We pay $100 a month for the year. That's $1,200. We do it for 3 or 4 or 5 years. Well, before long, you paid enough to buy a piece of land, and then you buy a small, cheap cargo trailer, and you got your own storage. And at the end of it, you've got the land. You still own the land and the cargo trailer, and you've got your storage, and you've paid for it, and just in your storage fees. So, that's another really good reason why you should be looking for a real cheap piece of land and getting onto it. And then, as I said, I'm getting older, and I'm looking to the day when I'm not going to be on the road. I'm going to be on the road less and less, and so I think the land is that for me. And I bought a piece of land that I really kind of wanted. It's a place I want to be, and it's 20 acres, and I like my neighbors, and the weather is pretty good. It's a little hot in the summer, a little cold in the winter, but not terrible. I can endure there, no problem. I bought a little shed. It's a 12 by 20 shed, and I insulated it well, and I can easily spend my winters there. I bought a bunch of solar. I've got tons and tons of solar, and I got tons of room to put it out in. I can live there very comfortably for the rest of my life. The idea of living tiny, the tiny home movement, the homestead movement, we all tie in really well together with the nomadic community. So maybe you've got a green thumb and itchy feet. How do you take care of those two big problems? Well, a little piece of land can do that for you. You can have your garden, you can have some vegetables and flowers, and then you're on them for the summer. And then when the itchy feet just drive you too crazy and the winter starts to come in, you say, I don't want to be here anymore. You turn the key and they drive away. And so the two combine, I think, really well for a lot of people. Okay, and finally, I think another good reason you might want to think about buying a piece of land is the idea of prepping. I'm not a crazy prepper, but I'm a prepper, and I am. You don't have to look very hard at today's weather all over the world to see that the weather is changing. And I'm a science geek. I love science. I've studied the science behind climate change, and it's just absolute. It's unquestionable. It's coming, and it will be a slow motion catastrophe. We're watching it unfold every year. Climate change is here. It's real. It's moving in slow motion. And so it doesn't seem that bad. I don't have to think about it or do anything about it. So I think prepping, being prepared, is a very valid reason to buy a piece of land so that as things get steadily worse in this slow motion catastrophe, you'll have a place to go. I think that's a completely valid reason. Okay, number one consideration are county codes. The county decides. Mostly the state does it. Mostly the county controls the codes in where you're going to buy land. Know the codes, know you can live with them, find out what they think about tiny houses. Find out if they think it's okay to live in an RV in your land. Will they let you? There are a lot they will not. If they will let you, what hoops do you have to jump through? That's your responsibility. Find out. Arizona, which is where I have bought my property, is pretty good. There are parts of Arizona which are excellent. I love Alaska. I've lived here for over 40 years, but I'm not buying land and settling down here. I'm just not doing it because for 6 years I lived in a van in Alaska, and I tell you I would not do it again. Well, I would do it again, but I wouldn't do it for the rest of my life. I would short term, not long term. And so know the weather, and I chose a place that gets a little too hot in the summer and a little too cold in the winter. But overall, it's a pretty darn good balance, and if I had to live there the rest of my life, I would be okay with that. I would be perfectly fine. Next, soil and water. Consider, can you grow crops? Do you want to grow crops? Is that important to you? If it's not, then don't worry about it. Where I'm at, it's impractical to put in a well. You might put in 600 feet and not get water. And that's pretty expensive, trial and error. And so water's the biggie. Now, a lot of places you can get by with rainwater catchment. And just catching all your rain will do the trick. You're going to have to buy some big drums. I'm putting in a multiple 500-gallon tanks to do rainwater catchment, and I believe that's going to do all I need. So that's something for you, consideration before you buy. Know where you're getting your water from. Of us, affordability is really big. Like I said, I bought my first piece of land for $2,000. And you're going to find a lot of land flippers that are just going to go around and buy up lots of little pieces of land. They're going to mark it up. He probably bought that piece of land for $1,000. This was 8 years ago. And so he probably bought it for $1,000, sold it for $2,000. He's carrying the note. He's not got much invested. So he took the $500 down. And he's kind of hoping I don't pay him. Because what's he going to do if I don't pay him? He's going to take it back. And what's he going to do with it then? He's going to sell it again. And he's going to get that $1,000 again, and then somebody's going to make payments for a while, and then hopefully they'll default, and then he'll sell it again. He could just sell that piece of land over and over again, and if he got enough doing that enough, he's set for the rest of his life. All he's got to do is handle the paperwork, and he gets a lawyer, and the lawyer does all the work for him, and there you go. Okay, where are we? We got a couple minutes, not very many. And I won't go on anymore. I can go on and on. I think it's just something that every nomad should be giving some consideration to.
It was so great to hear Bob's talk, and I know he was speaking to a lot of us who would eventually like a little piece of property. I met a couple more cute doggies. Ain't he making the garlic bread?
Use my fingers.
It's gonna be delish. Cheryl is actually cooking. She has the food in the microwave. We're using a little cheat tonight. Thank you, Cheryl. It was another great day at Vanstock. We enjoyed our dinner. Judy did a Facebook Live. We met a few neighbors and called it a night. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe and join us as we ramble on down the slow lane.